First of all, I want to thank you for carving out time as well as some of the other candidates who we've spoken to, because I know it's a really, really busy time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Number one, first question to you. Why are you running for office?
I am so excited to deepen and expand the support for students throughout Santa Barbara County. I come to this position with an array of experiences, incredible opportunities that I've had in my life as an educator, and am so looking forward to supporting all of our schools, 123 schools throughout Santa Barbara County in this next cycle of my term. And so what I want to do is really support the academic learning, the wellness of our students and our staff as we move forward. We're coming out of such an important, pivotal time in education. Now is the time to deepen, expand those supports for our students and teachers and staff throughout all of our schools in Santa Barbara County.
Next question. What makes you qualified for the job?
I'm qualified for the job in that I have been a teacher, a high school English teacher, an assistant principal at San Marcos High School, principal of Santa Barbara Junior High, director of curriculum and instruction, assistant superintendent, deputy superintendent, and I've served as county superintendent now for 5 years. And not only is it the experiences that I've had as a leader, but I'm a mother of 2 public school children, one who's in high school, one who's in junior high, married to a teacher for 33 years. And my experiences, having grown up in Santa Maria Valley, attending our public schools, Adam Elementary, El Camino Junior High, and Santa Maria High School, all of my experiences, the relationships I've built over all these years, help me in terms of my work in this very, very complex role of Santa Barbara County Superintendent of Schools. All of those roles that I've had in my career, the experiences I've had as a child and adult, going to UCSB, being an English major and getting my teaching credential, going to USC and getting a doctorate. All of those layers have helped me and supported me in being the most effective county superintendent of schools that I can be.
What are your 2 main priorities if you win?
My 2 main priorities, I will say first and foremost, of course, it's the learning and the support, academic for our students, academic learning and support. Having said that, there's more to, there's definitely more in terms of education that goes beyond the academics, and that's number 1. However, let me talk about some of the priorities that I have that extend beyond. So one of the things that I think that's really, really important is that when students wake up to go to school every day, they are eager and motivated, excited about something that they can be just thrilled about in school. And so, and that may be music, that may be arts, that could be PE, that could be their sports, that could be their academics in their schools, and of course their teacher. But for me, I really think about, let me just go to the end of the K-12 spectrum and think about the high school student for a moment, and know that they're headed towards either college, a career, and I really want to support the vocational programs as well. So internships, externships, apprenticeships, real life experiences, practical, relevant, meaningful experiences within their high school careers. So for me, the vocational programs, career technical education as we call them, their career pathways, we really need to deepen and expand those throughout Santa Barbara County. That's one area. A second area for me is in terms of access for all of our students. Right now, and it can be a short-term goal, and let's hope it is a short-term need, is around our mental wellness supports for our students. We just saw in a research report that came out on March 31st from the Centers on Disease Control. It talks about youth, K-12 youth in our schools, and 44% in the last 12 years have experienced a feeling of isolation, anxiety, or depression. They're recognizing this as a crisis and a need to support our youth. So for me, it is to provide school-based mental wellness supports for our youth in our schools throughout Santa Barbara County. Many schools are already implementing this. I'd like to support that. I've already begun supporting it with a grant that I have with the County Education Office with behavioral wellness. And we started in Santa Maria. We have navigators there supporting families and youth to find their supports in the community. And we're expanding now to Lompoc and the San Ynez Valley, and we'll continue now down to the Central Coast. So it's an absolute area of focus. And in order to have students accelerate in their learning and academics, we also need to be mindful of their social and emotional well-being as well.
How will you interact with other governments?
We interact with other government agencies constantly and regularly, and I look forward to leaning in and building bridges even closer. So a couple of examples include, just in the last 2 years, the close relationship we've had with Santa Barbara County Public Health, for example, our Office of Emergency Management. I serve on the First 5 Commission in Santa Barbara County for 0 to 5. The county supervisors and all of their support for the community, and education is a part of that community. So we're leaning in to work on supporting students who experience homelessness. There's an incredible forum right now on homelessness, so I'd like to come to the table in terms of the education space. So our government agencies who do so much in our community, I know that they're so eager to support education as well. And so my relationships with the governmental agencies, the heads of the programs and departments are very strong, and I will like to continue that relationship, but also make them closer. I really appreciate the work that we do together with county probation, for example. One of the roles that we play at the County Education Office is to provide the education for youth who are adjudicated and are within the juvenile justice program. And so we work very closely with county probation. We'll continue to. We know that there's shifts at Los Prietos with and our high school, Los Robles High School, and as we shift the school to the Juvenile Justice Center in Santa Maria, as an example, we'll work very, very closely with Santa Barbara County Probation. So the governmental agencies that provide so much support within our county, we do the same and want to partner together and bridge through those agencies to ensure that our youth are served really well.
What are your plans to help overcome the impacts of the pandemic?
So the impacts of the pandemic, I think we're going to find that we'll find some that are in the short-term immediate impacts, and that others we'll find along the way. So an example of that includes the fact that for students, we know, as an example, we needed technology and infrastructure, connectivity. And so there's a lot of support right now looking at broadband connectivity for technology and internet connectivity like a utility. So that's an area where we're saying, you know what, that's a need right away. The other needs that are emerging, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, the mental wellness needs, the social needs, where we have many students within Santa Barbara County that are experiencing, they're in poverty. Our county has, compared to the other 57 counties, Santa Barbara County is third highest in terms of youth poverty. We're fourth highest in terms of English learners. We're first in terms of percentage of students experiencing homelessness. So as we come out of the pandemic into the endemic stages, we need to be mindful of all of that as far as our context, but we're wanting to focus on learning and acceleration. There have been gaps in learning. There's been hurdles in their learning. We know that we need to focus on the reading, the writing, the arithmetic, the literacy, but also the access to all of the programs that students didn't have an opportunity to access while they were in remote learning. So as we come back next year in the fall, we'll be open, again, and it'll be such a joyful time, but we really do need to extend the school days. We'll need to support during the summer, during intersession periods, and really evaluate both the short-term needs but also the longer-term effects of the pandemic on our youth.
Which two issues are most important to you?
Well, right now I'll say that obviously our number one constituency, who we serve, is our students are number one. And our second, the area of focus are our teachers, who are the number one resource for the students within our classrooms. So let me focus on our students and let me focus on our teachers and staff. So in terms of the students, again, I really do believe that I want to appeal to the motivation that we know that students need every day as they wake up and go to school each day. And I really believe that every student, when they wake up and go to school, it's something that they can really love, needs to be there. In terms of our Santa Barbara County, in terms of coming out of this pandemic and knowing our students the way that I do and the way that our community does know, we know that student equity is a really important focus area, meaning that in order to access the learning, in order to access all the resources, we don't want to lower the bar for anybody. We want to ensure that every student gets challenged and every student has that opportunity for that motivation and excitement. But at the same time, there are students whose resources are not the same as everybody else's. So a goal for us is to ensure that the barriers are eliminated for students so that all students can access the same resources and all students will have the equal opportunity for success, and also in between that the gaps are eliminated as well. So for students, it's really about that student equity piece so that they can all access the learning equally and also all of the resources equitably throughout our schools. For our teachers, it's similar in that we've come through a time after several years now of our pandemic and in COVID-19. And to be honest, I really believe that while our teachers are heroes in our classrooms and they've had to wear hats as instructional leaders, but also have had to wear hats as health officials in a sense too, many of our teachers are very fatigued. We're at a point where we're close to the end of the school year, and they've carried so much and done so much to support our schools and classrooms that there's fatigue. And I used earlier the word motivation, and we really want to ensure that teachers feel motivated too. So I think about the wellness of our teachers, our wellness of our students. We have in Santa Barbara County, just like it is in California and the nation and many sectors, there's a shortage of teachers. There's a shortage of school staff. So we really do need to focus on recruitment and retention, the motivation, the support we can provide to our teachers and staff as well.
And then finally, is there anything else that you would like to say to the voters who are watching this?
I'd like to say that we are at a pivotal time in education. In the history of education, I think we're at a point where it's probably one of the most challenging and complex periods of time that any of us can think of or remember. And it's critical, as in the role of county superintendent of schools, to know the complexities of not only the period of time, but of the role in supporting 20 school districts 123 schools, 70,000 students, including our preschool and early learners, all the way to ages 22, that in order to serve well, having the experience that I have, having the vantage point the vantage and perspective that I have, the relationships and partnerships that I've built through the north, south, east, and west of this county, and having the support of students and teachers and community leaders, parents throughout Santa Barbara County, all matters as I move forward as County Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.